All right, everybody, who's ready for some misogyny? First one we have here is from Leviathan. Decided to draw Suris as Karina from Pokemon. Traced quite a bit because I'm bad at drawing and I was working on my phone. Was going to give her a shiny Vaporeon, but everything I ended up with looked like an Eldritch horror, so I just added some pink. I love being a part of your accepting community. Well, thank you very much, Leviathan. I appreciate that. The next one we have here is from Scarlet Nightmare, a goth punk Suris concept. I plan to do something digital, but I like to tease out outfits on paper before doing so. I too understand the ungodly urge to have a ton of VTuber outfits. Well, I'm glad you do, because addiction's better when everybody has it. Anyways, the last bit we have here is from Hatsune Juni. Been waiting to do a Resident Evil 4 / Suris fan art, but have been waiting for some context since we started the playthrough during the subathon. We have Timer-kun chasing Suris saying, "You can't escape. Enjoy." I absolutely love all of the Resident Evil Suris fan art that pops up. Also, look at the little grenades! Look at them! I've got a flashbang slime Suris, a regular slime Suris, and an incendiary slime Suris. I can do arson! Jesus. Thank you very much, Juni. As always, everyone, thank you all for your fan art submissions. If you want your fan art to be shown in a future episode, best way to do so is to drop it into the fan art section of the Discord. With that said, if you have not already subscribed or hit the bell notification icon, please consider doing so. Now, let's go ahead and get into the actual content itself. Because, you know, whenever I see a video that's entitled, "A Woman's Purpose," I have to wonder, what the fuck am I getting into? Anyway, let's take a listen.
I see a lot of videos for women on YouTube on how to get a so-called hourglass body, wider hips and bigger breasts, essentially. They will tell you to work out, do plastic surgery, go on unnatural diets, and so on. All of this is bullshit. There's one solution to all of your problems.
There's one solution? I could have an hourglass body? I'm a dude, though, so, I mean, it's not really going to help me all that much. But, you know, Lunumber, thank you for redeeming your points for an owl. Let's go ahead and take a listen. What's his solution? Let's hear.
Pregnancy. The reason...
What? What? Just pregnancy? I don't think pregnancy automatically gives you a perfect figure. Axolotls with cream. Thank you very much for redeeming your points for an... You fucking degen.
And you look the way you look is because you did not get pregnant right after you started menstruating.
What? Wait. Repeat that one again? I want you to say that one again in exactly the same cadence.
Is because you did not get pregnant right after you started menstruating.
No. I don't want to be here when the FBI shows up, buddy. Bye. But no, seriously, what the fuck? Why? Why is that? Why? You sounded like a creepy bear? Yeah, no. Just, you get to be on Bad Medical Takes on Twitter, yes, but you also get to be on an FBI watch list now.
Your menstruation is literally your body, nature, God if you're religious, telling you to have children now. Not doing that is exactly the same as not eating meat and fat when you are hungry.
You know, people can eat, things that aren't meat and fat when they're hungry, right? Is this still on YouTube? Yes. Yes, it is. I'm gonna take a drink and just play the video.
Completely goes against your body's needs and senses. and you will be naturally punished for it. And in this
Naturally punished. We need to fucking punish kids for not getting pregnant. I just can feel... You can feel the nonce pumping through his veins.
case, you are punished with your looks. Every woman on Earth that did not get pregnant when she was supposed to now looks different than she should, which means that
Then she should? Different than she should? What the fuck? What does that even mean? There are women who have never born children who have perfect hourglass shapes. There are women who have born children who are flat as a goddamn board. I don't know if he understands this, but pregnancy does change the body, but it ain't fucking magic. MILF milkers are not guarantees. They are dreams. Anyways, you shouldn't be trying to advocate for getting them on fucking 10-year-olds! Jesus!
most women in Europe and North America don't look the way they are supposed to.
The way they're supposed to? You know why most women in North America don't, quote, look the way they're supposed to? It's because we've got a fuck ton of sugar pumped into all of our food that we do not need. High fructose corn syrup is literally shoved in everything, including bread here, where it is simply not needed. In any way, shape, or form. If you've ever tried going on the keto diet, whether or not that's a thing you should do, that's a conversation between you and your dietitian, or you and your doctor. Take your pick. Point is, sugar as a substance is in everything. Everything. Said the Cheeto diet? Ah, yes, perfect. We are not supposed to have the amount of sugar that we have. Our body and our lifestyle are two different things. Our body is built to take sugar and turn it into energy really, really fast. Our lifestyle, especially here in America, is very, very sedentary. So we eat sugar, we consume it, and then boom, it turns into fat. Sorry, had to mute a sneeze there. Point is, a lot of people do not have the figure that they want because the food that is readily available to them is incredibly unhealthy, especially here in the States. That's just kind of what happens with the foods we produce here. A lot of them are just not healthy. So, if you're telling me that it's not because companies like Nestle try to get kids hooked on sugar at the early age of, baby formula time, so that they can sell them chocolate and other goodies when they are older. It's not that, which we can easily, look at in data and determine that, yes, this is one of the reasons that people are unhealthy in the States. This is one of the reasons we have higher rates of diabetes. This is one of the reasons we have insert bad thing here. Ignoring the fact that we can do that, there's data on that. No. No, the problem wasn't that. The problem wasn't a combination of sedentary lifestyle and, literally injecting sugar into the veins of the American populace. No. Can't be capitalism. Can't be that. No. The problem is kids weren't getting fucked enough. I'm gonna fucking puke.
Do you understand how big of a deal this is?
It's really not. We don't need kids getting pregnant.
Almost every woman that walks past you in everyday life doesn't look the way she is naturally supposed to.
I don't like this natural essentialism, this biological essentialism. It doesn't make for a good argument, and it doesn't defend the, literal pedo talk.
Looks are one thing, but there's a much bigger problem that most women have no clue about.
Oh?
Your body stops growing at around the age of 18. Growth is not only your height, your body goes through a lot of changes, and one of them is that it tightens and stays that way for life.
Tightens. Wait. What does mofo mean by tightens? Are we talking about Vagubu? Are we talking about Vagubu? Please don't tell me we're talking about Vagubu. Because if we're talking about Vagubu, I'm concerned.
This is a huge problem for women in the West today. You've probably been told all of your life that childbirth is very painful, right? It actually isn't, but it is for most women.
I'm sure he's got a lot of experience with childbirth, guys. I'm sure he can tell us all about childbirth. He knows all about it.
In the West, and that's because they give birth almost 15 years too late. You have to understand that from nature's perspective,
nature doesn't have a perspective. Nature isn't a person.
You are seen as a loser.
Nature can't think, my guy.
And that's why you will be punished with pain. This is
Wait, what? Okay, whole statement, no cuts.
Perspective, you are seen as a loser, and that's why you will be punished with pain. This is
because you didn't get fucked as a child and give birth as a child. Nature punishes you for being a bad girl with pain. I want to die. Yafiofer, thank you very much for following. I don't know if this is the right time to follow me. I think there's some deep trauma scars that are going to form because of this. You made this decision, and I apologize for it.
This is why you have to give birth when you are young and flexible. Your hips will widen very easily.
He thinks a lot about children giving birth. Please have children when they are young and flexible. You know? I don't know why I'm going to continue watching the video. I think 2 minutes of content is a perfect summation of everything he can possibly say. But I have a feeling it gets worse, so I'm going to find out how worse it gets.
When giving birth. And you won't have to go through those painful contractions that women who give birth at an unnatural age go through. Your hips will stay that way and make all of your future births just as easy, whereas those women can even risk bleeding to death when they give birth.
You know, kids can bleed to death too when they give birth, right? You know that the birthing canal tends to go back to its original shape over time. You can even regrow a hymen after several years. My guy, the human body is a weird and wondrous thing that maybe you should actually do some research on. This video, sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends, everybody. If we're gonna take their mobile game money, we're gonna make it cursed.
Again, this is a natural punishment for going against nature. You won't have stretch marks, your breasts will be much bigger, because you will be pregnant while you are going through puberty, which
Why? 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 Why are we doing this? Why are we talking? Why are we talking about kids? Why are we doing that? Why? Why is this man fantasizing about children having sex and getting pregnant and saying that it's a thing that they should do so that they can be nice and loose with gigantic child boobies? Why is that a conversation that's being had? Why is Raid Shadow Legends sponsoring me saying this? They chose this. They chose this. Fucking hell. Anyway.
which is how it's supposed to be, it will give you an extra boost, so to speak. This is how you actually naturally get an attractive body as a woman. Of course, you have to still eat natural food to be well developed and have an easy birth. You can't eat cookies and pasta and expect to have an easy childbirth, no matter how young you are.
Yes. Eating pasta makes childbirth hard. I want to read the science on that.
Genes obviously also play a role, and some women simply do have different body types. The media teaches women to be promiscuous. The schools teach them to use protection.
Why is that a giggle thing?
And the families usually don't even get involved today. They don't have a strong father figure to lead them or to teach them anything. Back in the day, we did not document our birth dates as we do now. Most people didn't know how old they are because naturally it's irrelevant. On the day a girl got her first period,
I'm actually fairly certain that for the majority of the time that humanity has been documenting things, the amount of rotations around the sun or the amount of moons one has witnessed has been a thing that we have documented. As evidenced by, you know, the fucking Bible talking about it, of all goddamn things. Why? What is going on here?
Is usually when she lost her virginity and got impregnated. Nobody cared about her exact age because it didn't matter.
Yes, we also used to like things like slavery, my guy. Turns out we as a species can do better.
Up until today. I'll give you some examples. In Spain, 20 years ago, the age of consent was 12. It was changed to 16 some years ago.
I will never trust somebody that knows the age of consent in multiple countries, because outside of morbid curiosity, the type of person that is going to look into that information is not a type of person I want to be around.
In Italy and Germany, it was also 12 for ages. In Italy, it is 14 now. Not that much has changed there. In Canada, up until 2008, it was also 14. Artificial marriages with a contract usually happen between the ages of 9 and 12 all around the earth. A bit over 100 years ago, the age of consent in the United States was 7 to 12 years, depending on the state.
So this is all an argument from tradition. All of this. We used to do this one day ages ago, and now we don't do it anymore. Because we don't do it anymore, my incredibly racist accent is telling you it's okay to fuck kids. No. Us doing it in the past does not make it good for us to do it in the future. That's not how that works. Again, I point to slavery. We did slavery in the past. We still technically do it. Read the 13th Amendment. It's real fucking weird. We still technically do it. We should not be doing it, but we still technically do it. And it's not a good thing that we do it, but we still do it. But we used to do it more. That doesn't mean we should do it more now. We used to have more child marriages. That doesn't mean we should do it. It just means you want it.
In 1920, after World War I, it was changed to 16 to 18 all of a sudden. That's also when women started working and sending their children to kindergarten. All of a sudden, the children were in the hands of the government. Everything started going downhill 100 years ago.
Don't you like how everything always starts going downhill between 100 to 50 years ago? Always. We have to return to monkey. Always. Somehow.
It was like a great reset.
Why are we having this B-roll footage here? Oh, 9 minutes and 49 seconds. You were desperately trying to hit that 10-minute mark.
Nowadays we have mind control programs such as To Catch a Predator with Chris Hansen.
Mind control programs? Catch a Predator is a mind control program? What? Okay, there's certainly criticisms you can levy at Chris Hansen. You know, failed YouTuber Chris Hansen. But mind control program? What? Can we talk about an actual mind control program like MK Ultra? You know, something that actually is for mind control? You're not talking about mind control. You're talking about desensitization. What the heck? Oh, I didn't realize that the Demon Slayer opening remix here had no copyright on it. Well, I'll jam to it. Why not? I need a little bit of levity here.
I'm sure a lot of you have seen it. Men get caught for wanting to sleep with 15-year-old girls. Yet in Europe, the age of consent is 14 to 15 in most countries. And that's simply because even the governments here understand that no matter how old you are as a guy, you would have to be severely mentally ill not to find a 15-year-old girl attractive.
I love being demisexual. I love it. It's very easy for me not to find a 15-year-old girl attractive. It's incredibly easy. And I think most people who aren't demi also, as adults, cannot find 15-year-olds attractive. In fact, I think it's actually a little bit fucking weird to say something like, it's very hard not to find a 15-year-old attractive. My guy, the older I get, the harder it is to find people who I once found attractive. Because when I was 18, somebody who was 16, 17, 18, they were attractive to me. Now that I'm 30, I recognize there's a power imbalance there. You want to know the thing that prevents me from being attracted to anybody like that? The goddamn power imbalance. There's a fucking myriad of reasons not to be attracted to somebody who's underage. You could write a fucking book on it. In fact, that book probably already exists. I guarantee you, there already exists a book. Reasons not to be attracted to children. Jesus Christ. So there's something very wrong with this creep? Yeah, there is. It's almost as if people like this don't... Okay, so there's a common refrain. There's a common conversation that is had when it comes to people who are of a certain age. And that is, what can they offer you? What are you looking for that specifically this person can offer? Let's say you are 18. You're just now starting your life. What can somebody who is 15 to 18 offer you? Well, that somebody who is in that age range is very close to your age range. They haven't started their life yet. You haven't started your life yet. You've got a little bit of power, but it's not to a fucking insane degree. Let's say you're 25. Let's say you're 30. Now when you're looking at an 18-year-old... Well, no, let's keep it to 15. Let's keep it to 15. What are they offering you? You've established yourself. You have been around as an adult for almost or more than a decade. What can this person offer you in a relationship? Not a whole lot. They're not going to be able to be equal parts partner with you. They're not going to be able to be independent without you. All you have there is a dependent. People like this are probably looking for that specifically, though. I could be wrong, but I feel like when you hit a certain age, if you are looking for somebody who is incredibly young and naive, in most cases, not all, but in most cases, I feel like maybe you are looking for someone who you can manipulate. You are looking for someone who will not challenge you. You are looking for someone who is going to be looking up to you as opposed to be looking forward with you. You are looking for subservience. There are exceptions to this rule. There always can and will be. There are situations where somebody who is incredibly younger than you can be in a much more powerful position, especially financially. And there are situations where y'all will find yourself on equal footing because of pure circumstance. But I'm not talking about those exceptions. I'm talking about generality. In general, if you hit a certain age and you are looking for somebody incredibly young, like pre-20, and you are actively going towards that person, you have to ask yourself, what the fuck am I doing this for? Is this person going to stand on equal footing with me, or is this somebody who I'm going to be manipulating? If the answer is you'll be manipulating them, you may have found yourself to be a predator, and maybe you should stop looking for fucking relationships with people you can manipulate. and instead try to find someone on equal footing, so that you can't do that. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me using logic to try to talk somebody out of going after kids. My example is with people who are 15 to 18. His example is with people who are like fucking 12. I'm gonna fucking scream. Let's keep going.
Yet in the United States, you are seen as a monster for having a natural attraction, even though that's only 1 year away from 16, which is legal in a lot of states.
It has less to do with legality. Again, it has more to do with power imbalances. At that age, somebody is still living with their parents. Their options are being under the roof of somebody who is domineering over them, or being with you, which would be another roof of somebody domineering over them. They haven't established themselves. They haven't set themselves up. They aren't working towards anything in their life quite yet, in most cases. If you are going for somebody that young, and you are advanced in age. I'm not talking about somebody who's 21 attracted to a 16-year-old. I'm not talking about somebody who's, 18 attracted to a 15-year-old. I'm talking about somebody who's established themselves for a long enough time, who knows how it is, who's making a decent wage, who has the power in that relationship. Why are you looking for a child? Why are you trying to groom a child so that even if you choose not to have sex with them until they're 18, until you hit that magic number, why were you going after that person in the first place? Why? What possibly, aside from an unthinking doll, could that person have offered you? Because in all those situations, it's a little bit fucked up.
It's a man-made number, and most importantly, in nature, you would never be able to tell if a girl is 15 or 16. Yet people still get prison sentences for sleeping with 15-year-old girls.
In nature, you can kill somebody and get away with it. But in society, where we are organized, we tend to punish and or try to rehabilitate people who kill other people in society. The naturalistic fallacy doesn't get you anywhere here, buddy. And Battle Cabbage says, no, but you can tell when someone is 15 versus 23. Yeah. If you look at somebody who is, 23, 25 years old, there's a stark difference between them in demeanor, in the way that they look, compared to somebody who's 15. And I'm sure somebody's going to pull the whole, actually, kids are dressing sluttier these days, because every fucking generation pulls that. Every fucking one. So I don't think there's enough Bulbasaurs to leech seed him into fainting. Well, you can only put one leech seed on a Pokemon at a time, so, Jesus. Vala says, even if you have that attraction, if you can't see the need for restraint in any of those instances, you're by no means mature. Exactly. Let's grant for the sake of argument, you find that 15-year-old attractive. Nami the Neko, thank you for resubscribing. You find them attractive. Congratulations. You're admitting that to yourself. Now, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to act on that attraction besides the fact, ignoring the fact that this is somebody who doesn't have any power in this particular relationship and you are walking in with an established power imbalance? Is that what you're going to do? Or are you going to try to slowly convince this 15-year-old that when they're 18, y'all two should get together? In which case, now you're grooming. I get the whole conversation about these are man-made numbers and man-made concepts. You're right. All laws work that way. That doesn't mean that they're suddenly bad. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Thank you for redeeming your points for an ara. Inappropriate timing. You fucking monster.
But it's totally fine if she turns 16 the next day. Absolutely ridiculous. Women in age.
So it's not that it's absolutely ridiculous. It's that legally, for the sake of legality, we have to draw the line somewhere. Any line we draw will inevitably be arbitrary. But drawing the line somewhere is something we do have to do. From a legal standpoint, that's something that has to be done. Now, there is a conversation to be had about drawing that line at, say, age 25, because 25 is when most brains stop developing. Cool. Put drugs, alcohol, and sex and everything all at the ripe old age of 25 only. But we recognize that people aren't going to wait that long for that. Putting the age a little lower than that, say 18, is a little more reasonable. That's when people are getting out of school. That's when people are literally starting their lives. Putting it the age where they'll still be in school and they will still be with their parents and they will still be a dependent, no. We don't do that. We shouldn't do that. But again, he's going to keep hiding behind, well, in nature this, in nature that, in nature rape happens. And I don't think we should be advocating for that. But, you know, I get to hit the play button and suffer more.
Sure, don't work. Yes, they may get their food or do some chores here and there, but that's about it. Men do all of the heavy work. And that's because biochemically, we actually enjoy it. You as a woman do not want to work, and you most certainly do not enjoy working out.
What? Wait. Biochemically, men enjoy working and women don't? Based on what science? Based on what? Raz likes working out more than me. The fuck? I don't understand. This is God fucking damn it. This isn't even a fallacy at that point. That's just stupid. Yeah, it's just based on trust me, bro.
Or doing any kind of sports. Hormonally, it completely goes against your biochemistry. The more you work out, the more infertile you get.
What? What? Wait, what? The more you work out, the more infertile you get? How? What? When? Where is the paper that says that? Woman lifts a couple weights and suddenly, boom, no babies? Source, please?
You would be a million times happier having a peaceful life, taking care of your children and your husband. A large amount of the time, you would be pregnant, and that alone would make you want to rest, besides running the risk of a miscarriage if you would lift anything heavy. Women nowadays sleep around and then they later realize that they want to have a family and a husband who is loyal and respects them. Snap out of it. Deep down, every man is going to see you as used up. Don't complain about it.
What? I'm not saying this as a way to fucking turn a channel into dating. Because I'm not going to fucking do that. But I don't give a shit what the body count of a potential partner is. I'm not going to sit down at a dinner with a potential partner, however I meet them, and go, hey, how many people have you slept with? You know why? I don't care. It doesn't matter. If you've slept with 300 guys or girls or NBs, I don't care. It doesn't matter. All that matters is that if you choose a relationship with me or whoever the fuck else, once you've made that choice, you don't go and do things with other people without consent of everybody in the conversation. I don't care if your body count is 300 and it all happened in a single night. I don't care if you literally lost your virginity on a night of super orgy bukkake. It doesn't matter. And it shouldn't matter for anybody else. I don't see why that's important. The body doesn't magically change chemically after you've had sex at your 100th time. It's not like, oh, dude, you've had your 100th guy come in you. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Welcome, you get to get a new prize. It doesn't fucking happen. The fact that there are people that will still have the opinion that a woman can be, quote, used up doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any fucking sense. But I still have to hear morons like this guy talk about it.
Realize that you fucked up and try to make the best out of it. Let's break all of this down and take the US as an example. As a teenager, you sleep around. Already when you've had 2 to 3 partners, the likeliness of you ever being able to pair bond is close to impossible.
What? Why? How? And is that magically different if you're a guy? Let's see here. I don't know how many sexual partners I've had off the top of my head. And I don't know how many sexual partners any partner of mine has had. I just don't. It doesn't matter. I've been with Raz for 6 years. Does the amount of partners I've had magically mean we can't be together and it doesn't work out? Because, like, here we are. Welcome to the example. Pair bond, wasn't that disproven by the basis of that being in phrenology? I'm pretty sure everything in phrenology got disproven. But what do I know? I'm polyamorous. I've been in multiple relationships at the same time. And I've never had an issue being with any of those partners. I've been in multiple relationships while being with Raz. And we've still been together 6 years. But okay. Sure, why not? Random bullshit pseudoscience. Perfect.
You are not allowed to naturally marry anybody who is older than you.
What? You're not allowed to naturally marry anybody older than you? What does that even mean?
Who may be strong enough to take care of you, but you are allowed to sleep with other teenagers who watch porn and will drop you as soon as they have used you.
Because with those teenagers, y'all generally have more equal power, whereas an established adult has power over you. An established adult can fuck with your life in ways you can't quite comprehend because you are not yet an adult. You have not yet experienced the things they can do to ruin your life. I hate to tell you this, adults fucking suck. We're all monsters. You think kids and bullies are bad? Richard Spencer's a fucking adult. So why does he care so much about minor sex? Yeah, no, I don't. That's the other thing. I don't understand why this guy thinks so much about kids fucking. Like, yeah, teenagers have sex. That's a conversation. It shouldn't be this one. It shouldn't be... There shouldn't be the conversation that teenagers have sex in the same conversation about the teenagers you want to have sex with as a not teenager.
This is where all of these damaged girls come from. You are not even allowed to artificially marry anybody with a contract before the age of 18.
Yeah, and that's fine. Minors also can't consent to contracts with corporations in most cases. Like, a contract generally is required to have both parties consent to the terms of the contract. For them to consent to the terms of the contract, they have to be informed on the terms of the contract. Now, whether or not both parties are informed on the terms of the contract is immaterial. What is material, what matters, especially legally, is whether both parties were given the opportunity to be informed on the terms of the contract. If you had the opportunity to be informed, that is generally all we care about. Whether or not you took advantage of that opportunity is your own deal. Now, let's talk about kids who are naive. Kids who are naive do not have an opportunity to learn about any of these contracts yet. Especially from a legal perspective, we treat them as not having the ability to know. Not having the ability to consent to older parties. Because older parties can and will take advantage of kids. The best example I have right now is you, my guy. You. You are the perfect example of adult trying to take advantage of a child. Because you are an adult lamenting about all the children you can't have fucking sex with. You are lamenting that you, as an established adult, cannot impregnate a 10-year-old, 12-year-old. You, as a living, breathing, thinking person, are upset about that. What the fuck is wrong with you? I think I know what it is. You can't get a date with a woman who knows your shtick. You can't sit down at a table with somebody who has an equivalent intellect to yours, which I know that's a low bar to clear, but you cannot sit at that table with that person and have an engaging conversation and convince that person to sleep with you. You require that person to be a child who is naive enough to let you play the finger game with them. You desperately need someone to be young and stupid because it's the only way you can get sex. And maybe I'm wrong in saying that, but everything you said in this video up to this point has led me to that conclusion. You need children to want you to do things to them. Because the idea of somebody that can engage in informed consent and also be smart enough to recognize when they are being manipulated, that's unappealing to you. Whereas somebody who you can control, who you can manipulate, who you can abuse, that is somebody who's appealing to you. And I find that, frankly, incredibly disgusting.
This is insane and inhumane because they make it impossible for girls to have stable relationships or to create a functioning family.
No. Girls can have stable relationships even if they've... Let's say, 15-year-old girl loses virginity at 15. I'll say that because I was 15 when I lost my virginity. Neat, cool, we're square. 15-year-old girl loses her virginity at 15. She sleeps with 100 guys. Entire varsity football team of both schools. Both of them. She sleeps with all of them over the course of a year. Is she now magically not able to have a long-lasting, loving relationship with a husband when she becomes an adult? No. She's able to have that relationship just fine. No matter how many people you have sex with, you have the ability to choose to stay loyal to a single partner or choose not to. That's a choice thing. That's a thing that you, as a cognizant adult, have the ability to participate in or not. Mathematical Cabinet says, I'd imagine she'd probably have a better relationship when she knows what she wants and what she doesn't. There's a conversation to be had there, too. A person who has had sex with multiple partners is probably going to be better at communicating with their current partner about things they enjoy. I had a partner once who didn't know how to give a blowjob. I'm dead serious. She had no idea how to make a guy finish that way. Just not a thing she could do. Communicating with your partner about how to do things that pleasure you is important. If somebody has had multiple partners, it is more likely they will be able to communicate the things that they want because they have probably experienced the things that they want. There's certainly something amazing to be said about discovering that with your partner for the first time, but there's also something to be said about just enjoying it in general. It doesn't matter, though. Whether that arbitrary number of people that hypothetical teenager has slept with is 100 or 200, doesn't matter. By the time they become an adult, they are just as able to have a stable relationship as someone who slept with no one. In fact, actually, I would argue that person is probably more capable of having that stable relationship because they've already experienced all of those things before and they know what they want now. They're not going to sit 5 years into the relationship and go, oh my god, I've wasted my life. I haven't slept with anyone else. I don't know what it's like to be with another person. They've already done that. They've already had that communication. They've already had that experience. So it's like experience, the more sex you have, the more sex EXP you have. Sex exp. But those aren't things that this guy's probably going to think about. You know, it's amazing. With the amount of time this guy has thought about kids having sex, the idea that one of them might become more experienced by the time they're an adult hasn't fucking occurred to him. Said a lot of people believe that more sexual partners a girl has had, the less likely it will be for them to have a meaningful romantic relationship. And to that I say, those guys are cowards. I'm just going to go on a tangent and say this. If you are concerned about the amount of sexual partners your partner has had in the past, then you are a coward, because you are afraid that you will not measure up to the partners that came before you. You are afraid that every one of those people has fucked her better than you can, despite the fact that she's no longer with them and she's currently with you. All evidence points to you being perfectly capable for the job, because she's still here with you. But you're more worried about John No Name, whom you've never met, and how he performed with her one time before she even knew your name. You are terrified of a ghost that may or may not have come inside your girlfriend. And that's honestly kind of sad. And you should probably do therapy about it.
You may have so-called relationships that even last a few years, but all of them will break in the end because of this. Essentially, it is illegal to have a family in the United States of America. I'm not kidding.
What? People have families all the time in the United States. Oh, right. Your idea of a stable family is a 30-year-old that got with a 12-year-old, impregnated her, and then through an arranged marriage managed to keep her legally, and then she had to drop out of school, and then didn't manage to get a job because she never had an education to get one, and now she's completely subservient to the dude and popping out babies every 9 months. That's your idea of a stable relationship.
This is what the New World Order is all about.
Oh boy, conspiracy theory time.
China is a good example of it. The age of consent is 18, and to marry anybody you have to be 20 as a woman and 22 as a man. This is basically 10 years too late and guarantees a
10 years too late? Wait a minute. 20 as a woman. 10 years too late. He literally thinks 10-year-olds should be pregnant. He just flat out said it. No inference. Just straight up. 10-year-olds should be the ones getting pregnant in his mind. I bet he doesn't think that a 22-year-old shouldn't be with a 10-year-old. But okay.
99% family failure rate. I assume that the age of consent will be 18 to 20 in the NWO, if there even will be any. Essentially, there won't be such a thing as a family. This is all part of the depopulation agenda. You believe...
Welcome to the Georgia Guidestones, everybody. We're going to talk about the depopulation agenda of the world. Woo.
that you are being oppressed as a woman, when in reality, the liberation is the oppression.
The liberation is the oppression? Wait. So he thinks that all of the terrible things, like women not being allowed to vote, women not being allowed to work, women not having a say in their own relationships, women not having a say in several affairs, that's a good thing to him. Jesus Christ. Trans people probably fuck up his entire worldview. Hey look, more useless B-roll footage. Hey look, a copyright strike. Is it? Oh boy, more useless B-roll footage. How is being given the choice oppression? I'm so confused. He's an idiot. He's a moron. That's how. No confusion. To understand his logic, you must remove all brain cells in your head and be left with only the one. And once you have the one brain cell that is currently focused only on letting you breathe, then you will understand everything that this man is considering. South says, please report the video. Yup. My fucking God.
I see a lot of videos.
Nope, I don't need to listen to you again. I don't need to listen to you again. Yeah, we're just gonna label this child abuse. Literally, meep. The entire video is him talking about wanting to impregnate 10-year-old girls and trying to convince his audience that they should also be impregnating 10-year-old girls. Holy crap. Just watch the video. It doesn't take long. If we find this content to be in violation of our community guidelines, we will report it. I sincerely hope they do. Well, that made me want to throw up in my mouth a little. Let me know what you guys saw in the comments section below. I'm going to go jump off a bridge. Insert end of video tagline here.